Welcome back. Today we're going to look at the peaceful protests from 1963 to 1965 and see how these protests went from being very local, very national, to being global. So, first stop, let's look at Birmingham, Alabama, 1963. So Birmingham was a symbol of segregation, with its police chief Bull Connor. He was notorious for using violence against black Americans. But civil rights activists, led by Martin Luther King and the SCLC, organised protests to challenge segregation. The protests were seen as even more extreme because for the first time we saw children on the battlefield. Police responded with dogs, fire hoses and mass arrests. This shocked the nation, and this brutality was televised, so every element of it was shown every evening in their living rooms. The next major event was the March on Washington in August 1963. Over 250,000 people, black and white, marched to demand jobs and freedom, gathering at the Lincoln Memorial. Martin Luther King delivered his famous I Have a Dream speech calling for racial equality and justice, and this peaceful protest became a global turning point as momentum built for the Civil Rights Act of 1964. 1964 became known as Freedom Summer. SNCC and CORE launched a campaign to get as many black people as possible registered to vote. Volunteers faced violence from white supremacists, including church burnings and arrest. Despite the dangers, the campaign highlighted the desperate need for voting rights reform. But the fight for justice came with tragic losses. In June, civil rights workers Michael Schwerner, Andrew Goodman and James Chaney were brutally murdered by the KKK. Their deaths shocked the nation and spurred support for the Voting Rights Act of 1965. So these protests changed the game for the civil rights movement because they made the cause global. Follow for more civil rights history.